Oh, yeah, that'll get you in the mood for a little football. Let's go. It's time to bring in the best in the business, Ross Benjamin, back and better than ever and ready to go. WagerTalk.com on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Good afternoon, Ross. How are you? It's good to have you back, my friend.
It's good to be back. I'm doing much better, Sam. Thank you, and looking forward to today's show.
Good stuff, my man. We were throwing some prayers out for you the last couple of weeks, making sure you were back to go, and you're looking good. And I'm glad things are picking up for you. And we are certainly glad you're getting better and ready to get back to it. So wow, crazy stuff here in college football and the NFL the last couple of weeks. The ranked teams that are going down, the upsets in the NFL. Holy smokes. What is going on in 2025? What is in the football water, Ross?
You know, college football, I think a lot of it is because of the NIL, the transfer portal, who does the best in the transfer portal, who's paying the right people, and even in the transfer portal, who can develop cohesiveness the quickest. You see stuff like what's going on at Penn State right now, and you scratch your head.
Oh yeah.
In the NFL, it doesn't shock me, Sam. You know, we see upsets every year, and it's almost like you have to have a contrarian mindset in the NFL and think like an odds maker to really be successful. So nothing that shocks me right now. The college football, yeah, I think as much as I'm doing very well, if you're asking me what's attributing to that, that's exactly what I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree as well. I don't know if you if you saw, but I'm not sure where you do your thing at during the week or the state you reside or whatever. But the state of Ohio yesterday, it looks like NIL is going to be given the okay for high school sports here in the state of Ohio, and I was doing a little bit of research, and there's 44 other states already that allow NIL. I didn't know that. So
I didn't either.
So Ohio, of course, is way behind the times, and it looks like that's going to happen. And we see how it's gone in college, and I wonder how it's going to go in high school. And I think it's going to open up a whole new can of worms, but it'll be something to follow for sure.
Yeah, that's troublesome to me, you know, because again, you know, especially in the public school system where it's all done by districts, you know, again, and then you get into the Catholic schools and there can be a lot of money thrown around because you could draw from anywhere. You know what I mean? These kids are too young to be throwing money their way. You know, there's a lot of danger there at that young of an age. It's more of a controlled environment in college. You know what I mean? Because there's more to draw from. You got rosters of 95 to 100 players in high school, depending on the size of your school. There's not a lot of depth to draw from. So I could see a lot of disciplinary problems happening here. And a lot of players, once they're getting money, feeling like they're irreplaceable and creating some discipline and bad attitudes. So we'll see. I just don't think it's a good thing, Sam.
Yeah. Another quick point before we get to the action here. I mean, who's to say now, Ross, if, you know, let's say Joe's at school A, school B says, hey, what are you getting there? Okay, we'll double that for you. Tell your mom and dad to bring you over here. And all of a sudden it's the wild, wild west all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, how much money are we talking about? That's the other thing, you know? Yeah. Are you giving this kid enough money to for his parents to afford to move from one area to the other? You know, there's a lot involved there. But even with that being said, again, I'm very concerned with the whole concept. I think it's going to create nothing but problems at the high school level if indeed this gets out of hand like it did in college.
Yeah. Somebody's got to take a look at it and do something about it. All right, Ross, we are We are thirsting for your football knowledge this weekend for the college and pro. Check them out at wagertalk.com. At wagertalk.com, we'll put a couple of other addresses up there on the screen where you can directly go to Ross and get his big selections, and he's got a lot of great ones I know coming up this weekend. Ross, I'm just going to fire a couple of college games out at you. Hopefully you've taken a these are like some of the bigger games this weekend. Let's start with this is a good one. Number 4, Ole Miss. At number 10, Georgia. The Dogs are laying somewhere around 7 with a total of 54.5. This is a juicy game, Ross. Georgia and Ole Miss between the hedges.
Yeah, I mean, the line speaks volumes to me. I often say, and I've said it on your show and many other shows, Sam, when you think like an odds maker, more times than not, you're going to be on the right side. So let's think about this. This is an Ole Miss team that's ranked number 5 in the country. They're undefeated. This is a Georgia team that doesn't resemble the dominant teams they've had in years past, yet still very good. Did suffer their first home loss in 33 home games this year against Alabama, albeit very close game. The one-loss team is a touchdown or better favorite against the undefeated number 5 team in the country. I don't trust Lane Kiffin. I don't trust Lane Kiffin when it let me preface that by saying I don't trust him in games against quality competition. He's proven time and time again at Ole Miss when they step up in class, especially on the road, they fall short. Now, they did own a win against LSU, but that's an LSU team that's really challenged offensively this year. And Georgia defensively is very sound. And not for nothing, Mississippi was very lucky last week as a 32.5-point favorite. They had to pull out a 3-point win against Washington State. Give me the Dogs here and lay the points.
Dogs minus the point. Ross Benjamin, wagertalk.com. All right. How about LSU at Vanderbilt? The Commodores and Diego Pavia are laying 2.5 at home. What say you, Ross? The Bayou Bengals and the Commodores.
Again, think like an odds maker, folks. This line speaks volumes to me. It should to you as well. Both teams 5-1. However, you're looking at LSU has won the last 10 matchups between these schools on the gridiron. The last time Vanderbilt beat LSU, 1990. Let's also think about this. Since 2023, LSU is 1-7 straight up in ATS whenever their point spread is between +3 and -3, like it is in this spot. On the other hand, Vandy, when they're +3 to -3, they're 7-0 straight up in ATS in their last 7. You have a school that's dominated the other school, okay, and basically has the better brand name, yet it's Vanderbilt as a favorite here. Give me the Commodores here. And I would use the money line here if you can get -140 or less.
Okay.
But I have no problem laying the 2.5 as well if you're not willing to do the money line.
I like it. Ross Benjamin is our guest, wagertalk.com. Ross, before we get to some more of your picks, let us know how everybody out there watching and listening right now can go right to you, the man itself, and get some winning picks this weekend for college and pro.
Well, my direct link at Wager Talk is wt.buzz, BUZZ/RB, just like Sam has just flashed up on the screen. But if you're listening on radio, wt.buzz/RB. You can get all my subscription plans and all my daily packages right there. Folks, $49 weekend warrior special we continue to run over at Wager Talk. You're going to get all my Saturday college football, Sunday NFL, and also we're throwing in Monday. And don't forget, this week there's 2 NFL games on Monday night. I am 19-10 this year, picking them right up where I left off last year in college football, up over 31 units. I was number 1 in college football last year in terms of win percentage and units earned. And since the start of the 2023 season, I'm hitting 60% of my college football plays, up 112 units, and that's good for number one since the start of the 2023 season in college football at wagertalk.com. NFL 8-4 since week 3 in combined college football and NFL since September 11th, 25-13, Sam, 66%.
Winner.
$49, folks. That's an absolute, not only a bargain, it's an absolute steal with a handicapper of my caliber and skill set when it comes to college football and the NFL.
Check it out on the screen right there. There's your Weekend Warrior package. Only $49 all weekend. Plus, you get the bonus plays on Monday night. Remember, there's 2 games. That's your Weekend Warrior package, $49. Ross Benjamin, wagertalk.com. And if you want to go right to Ross, wt.buzz/RB. All right, number 11, Tennessee. At number 6, Nelly, Alabama. The Tide are rolling at home. They are -8.5. Volunteers and Bama, Ross. What do you got?
Yeah, Bama's really rolling right now. Impressive win on the road last week at Missouri. That's a pretty good Missouri team they beat last week on the road. And since that stunning opening game loss against Florida State, they've been on a roll, and their quarterback, Ty Simpson, seems to be getting better every week. And he's a young quarterback, and he's going to continue to get better as the season progresses. Here's the thing with Tennessee. Entering the season, their defense was supposed to be elite. They had returned 9 starters from a season ago on a defense that was extremely good last year. However, they haven't lived up to that standard this year, and they've been very vulnerable on that side of the ball. Alabama at home, I just think the Crimson Tide right now, they have all the earmarks of a team that's on a mission, ready to win out, and certainly not going to take Tennessee lightly. And this is an Alabama team that seems to be playing a ranked team every week, Sam. Yet they've really come through since that opening game loss. Give me the Crimson Tide here, lay the points.
I like it. All right, we're going to start migrating our way a little bit to the west, and we're going to make a pit stop in Tempe. Number 9, Texas Tech. At number 21, Arizona State. Latest line I see, the Red Raiders laying 7.5 to the Sun Devils. This is a fun game. I think it's going to be a fun game, Ross. What do you think?
I think it's a game to stay away from. Texas Tech, I say that only because, and not to underscore what you just said, Sam, but, Texas Tech lost their starting quarterback, Morton, last week in the second half. Didn't return to the game. He's questionable going in. Sam Leavitt did not play last week. And certainly they're a much different team without him than they are with him, as Utah just pummeled them last week. Early in the year, I really was on Arizona State. I thought they were the best bet to win the Big 12. I also thought that they were a team that could make some noise in the college football playoff based on the returning starters they had and also how well they did a season ago. But that's not been the case this year. And here's the thing. This line opened at like 9.5 or 10 for Texas Tech. It's down to 7 or 7.5, which tells me this. They have more faith on Leavitt being ready to play than they do Morton. This is a game, if you're going to play it, I would say wait closer to game time, because if you like Texas Tech, you should play them right now. Okay, if you don't care about, play him right now, because if Morton indeed is a go, then it's going to go back up to around 10. And I think that at that point, you must wait if you like Arizona State and you have a good indication that Leavitt's going to play. Having said that, hopefully I didn't confuse you, but I think there's a lot more better value on the board and too much uncertainty at the most important position on the field, and that's quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt. And even Ross, the total even kind of tells you maybe a little something there. It's 49.5. Usually when T-Tech and Arizona State get together, that thing's usually up there around 70. So we'll see a little bit closer to game time. One more for college, and we'll hit the National Football League. Got to throw this one in there because of the branding of both these schools. Notre Dame and USC at South Bend. Irish are laying 9.5 to the men of Troy. What do you see here on Saturday?
You know, when I saw this opening total at 61.5 on Sunday, I said, man, oh man, I circled that because you look at the offensive numbers that both of these teams have put up, USC all year long, but Notre Dame, freshman quarterback CJ Carr has really improved since the start of the season. And if you look at his last few games, all of a sudden, Notre Dame, we always knew they could run the ball, but they're putting up huge numbers in the passing game as well. USC, their quarterback, don't ask me to pronounce his last name. He's having a fabulous year, dual threat quarterback, and USC's putting up monster offensive numbers as well. The thing with USC, though, is they're outscoring people because their defense leaves a lot to be desired. And we saw with Notre Dame against a team like Texas A&M, they could be a little bit vulnerable. They have played extremely well over the last 3 weeks. Why I steered clear of this is because when you look at the current weather forecast, it's supposed to rain through the entirety of the game.
Yep.
So when I use an over, and I like an over, Sam, I'm looking for ideal weather conditions. And this certainly is not indicative of that. If a small lean for me would be on Notre Dame, lay the points here against USC at home, only because of the running game. And I think they have a tad better defense than USC.
Yep, and all that slop in Indiana is going to be in Ohio Sunday for the Browns and Dolphins. We get to that here a little bit later. Ross Benjamin is our guest, wagertalk.com, at wagertalk.com to get right to Ross and get his outstanding picks, wt.buzz/RB. And don't forget that $49 Weekend Warrior package. You need to snag that up right now. All right, Ross, they're billing it the Icy Hot Bowl tonight. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. The Steelers are 4.5 over the Bengals. What do you think? Flacco and Rodgers on a Thursday night on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, what really strikes me is I played the over 43.5 yesterday. It's now like 44.5. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the numbers, you're looking at Flacco's only been there not even 2 weeks. And Pittsburgh, even though they're scoring points, they're averaging less than 300 yards per game. But I'm looking at other things, such as the fact that Flacco threw for 179 yards in the second half last week. And he looked to get more comfortable as the game went on. Cincinnati still has some pretty damn good offensive skilled players on the outside. And the running game has been a lot to be desired, but their defense is definitely their weakness. And I think we'll see Pittsburgh put a fair amount of points up tonight in a game that probably is going to be a lot closer than people might envision, being Pittsburgh's a 5.5-point road favorite. I'm still not willing to pull the trigger on Cincinnati, but I do like this game to go over 44.5.
Interesting. Ross, a little college breaking news I just want to throw out here to everybody. Indiana and Kurt Cignetti have agreed to a new 8-year, $11.6 million contract through November 30th, 2033. Just wanted to get that out there because that just came down a couple of minutes.
Indiana's a football school now, Sam.
How about that?
Yeah.
Hoosiers, here we go. Assembly Hall. Forget about it. Play the football over there now in Bloomington. All right. What do you say, Ross? Tampa Bay at Detroit. The Lions are giving 5.5 to the Bucks and Baker. The total right now is 52.5, 53. Any lean here on Detroit and Tampa?
Yeah, I like the way Detroit has come on of late until the Kansas City game last week, but you got them coming off a loss and playing at home in front of a national TV audience. Tampa Bay, the record is very good, right? Baker's played at an MVP caliber, but the thing is, they pulled a lot of games out late. They've had a lot of magic to do so. This line opened, I believe, Detroit -4. It went up to 5.5. And when I look at the betting splits, it's sharp money that's made that line move because a lot of people are on Tampa Bay with volume of bets, and there's more money being bet on Tampa Bay. So when we see a reverse line movement like that, it's a sure indicator of sharp money. And I agree with the Sharps here. I'm going to lay the points with the Detroit Lions over the Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday night.
All right. Ross Benjamin, wagertalk.com, wagertalk.com. All right. I got time for a couple more NFLers here. I hate these overseas games, Ross. I just can't stand them. But Jacksonville and the Rams over in London. LA is laying 3, total 44.5. Any nuggets on the Jags and the Rams across the pond?
Yeah, it's like Jacksonville plays across the pond. It seems like a couple times a year, and at least every year they played across the pond for quite some time now. So, they're quite acclimated in terms of the time difference and what to expect when going over to Europe. And the Rams 3-point favorite here on a neutral field, which means if the game was actually in Jacksonville, it'll be a pick'em game. Jacksonville off a poor effort last week. You just don't know what Jaguars team is going to show up. When you look at the total, we're looking at went from 46.5 to 44.5. I don't like the game, but if I had to put a pick in as just an opinion play, I would lean more toward going under the total of 44.5.
This is actually the 14th time Jacksonville has played in London. 14th time they've done it.
And a lot of money's gone on Jacksonville, Sam, surprisingly, because on paper, I think, and by the eye test, the Rams, to me, are the better team. But that steers me away from that game even more.
All right, we'll squeeze in 2 more here before we let you roll. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles -2 at Minnesota. What do you think there, Eagles and Vikes?
Yeah, Minnesota's actually a +1 right now, and it's 44, well, depending on where you look. Anyway, having said that, I can't side. The Eagles, I guess you could say the Eagles are due, right, Sam? But, you're due to catch an inside straight in poker, too. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. But I don't mean to make the odds that extreme in terms of the Eagles winning the game, but it's just something ain't right in Philadelphia. A.J. Brown wants out. He's not satisfied. The Philadelphia defense has really, really regressed from a year ago. Minnesota playing at home. I'm going to have a small lean here on the Vikings on the money line against the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, we got time for one more, and boy, is it a doozy. 1-5 Miami, 1-5 Cleveland. Up on the lakefront, it's going to rain all morning, all afternoon, all evening. Ross, Browns and the Fish. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. So looking forward to it. Anyway, I looked at this game because I knew we'd be talking about it on air.
Yes.
And when you're looking at a game like this, Cleveland's laying 2.5 with a rookie quarterback. Okay, that tells me something. Secondly, when you look at Cleveland, their defense is still playing extremely well. They're only allowing 262 yards a game, less than 5 yards per play. And you look at the yards per game differential. Miami is minus 100.3 yards per game, which means they're being outgained by a little over 100 yards a game, while Cleveland is actually outgaining the opposition by 9.2 yards per game. So, to me, that's a telling sign. And you're looking at how Tua's playing right now. He's thrown 7 interceptions. He's been sacked 13 times, and he's about to face a Cleveland defense that's very good. Real surprising to know. Under Kevin Stefanski, the Browns are 7-1 straight up at home after a loss by 14 points or more, which are coming off that loss 23-9 against Pittsburgh. Don't mean to sound like a homer because I'm on Canton radio, but I'm not going to use this game, folks, because hold your nose when you watch this one. But by the same token, somebody is going to win and cover. And I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns here, minus the 2.5 against Miami. Another thing, I always like to use the money line, Sam,
Yep.
If I like a favorite of 2.5 or more, but I'm looking at Cleveland's money line, which is -144, -145 in that area. I'm not willing to go there. That's an awful high money line for a point spread this low. So it makes me like Cleveland even more, late at 2.5.
One of my all-time favorite sayings in life: hold your nose. I think that's one of the greatest as far as talking about. Yeah, I just absolutely love it. Ross Benjamin, check him out. Get right to him. Get those picks. WT.buzz/RB. WagerTalk.com. They get the $49 Weekend Warrior package. Check it out. WagerTalk.com. Ross, I am glad you're doing well, my friend. We appreciate the visit. Have a great weekend. Let's do it again 7 days from now.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you, and you have a great weekend as well, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Ross Benjamin from WagerTalk.com.